there's a couple things that go on with technologies. You have great salespeople who make a lot of promises. And it's true that those results can be achieved, but there's a lot more that goes into it than just putting in a technology and plugging it in. So many organizations that I've gone into have implemented a technology and invested in training up front when the technology was new. But as new employees come into the organization, there's zero training for those employees on how to use that technology. We had an example just the other day where employees had been going out of their main system into an external system to get information because they simply didn't know that there was a feed of data and it was available at their fingertips. And the inefficiency that created for months while this new team did not realize that is incomprehensible to me, how inefficient that was. So continued education and training once new systems are put in place for new employees is absolutely critical. The other thing that often happens with technologies is that it's assumed that employees are going to adapt their processes to the new technology, and that is absolutely not a safe assumption. A lot of times what employees do is they look at what the technology can do and how it does it, and they say, okay, how can I fit the processes that I'm comfortable and familiar with into the new technology, as opposed to adapting the processes that they're comfortable with and familiar with to fit the capabilities and the new tools that they have at their disposal with the new technology. And so oftentimes it's those kind of, the way we've always done it type activities that sabotage those new technologies and fail to deliver, along with just that lack of training and investment in the future employees. There's this notion of one and done training, which is great if you have great benefits and a great culture and you're retaining your employees for 20 years. But in today's world, companies are not doing that, and the failure to make that continuous investment in education and training for new employees coming on board, it is hurting their business, as well as creating dissatisfaction and creating some of that turnover for employees who just feel like they're flailing and unable to be effective in their roles, because most employees really do want to be effective and contribute. So strongly encourage that reinvestment and really taking the time to not only plug the software in, but really look at the processes around them and continue to revisit those and make sure that the processes that were put in place and designed at the front end are still actually being followed 6 months down the line after the technology's been in place for a while.